Okay, so for today's video, instead of looking at toys or figures or whatever, I thought I'd pick up and share with everyone a little something called the greatest Joker stories ever told. So, this video might be a little different because what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk maybe a little bit about this line of books itself, as well as some of the contents, and how they affect a lot of the writing over at DC Comics when it comes to the Joker today. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Greatest Stories Ever Told line was started sometime in the late 80s, especially right before the first Batman movie was coming out at the time. And so what they had to do was, from what I've read, DC went back into their archives, going all the way back to, let's open this up, you can see, going all the way back to when they began first appearing all these characters, Batman, Superman, Joker, and so on and so forth. And what they had to do at the time was they had to take what copies of the books they had and run them through a special process that first would bleach the papers to remove all the coloring. After that, the pages of those stories would have to be Xeroxed so they could get copies made, and unfortunately that caused the destruction of all those Golden Age copies that DC Archives had. Despite that, they took those copies and would recolor them in order for a release in this trade collection, because at that time, remember, you had series like Watchmen, The Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke. They were all being collected in the catch-all terms graphic novels and trade paperbacks, trade collections. And I'm going to show you a little bit in here. The first edition of these, I believe, was a Superman collection. Batman had his own, and the Joker was actually the first villain to get his own run in the greatest. I don't know if the greatest stories ever told collection is still going on today, but from what I understand, it was this that led to the development of the Archives line, and really, it's the reason why a lot of Golden Age stories are preserved today and reproduced. So, you have his first appearance from the spring of 1940. What I love best about this is that you can really see how much the medium had changed over years. And keep in mind, this collection was made in 1988. This is from when, like I said, a lot of those stories were, they were stories people had never seen before. Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen. The Dark Age of Comics was well on its way in. And it's clear that, this was a collection that I'm sure that a lot of people really liked more than a lot of the stories that were being in later years. Now, what I want to say about this is a few stories in here, such as The Man Behind the Red Hood. Now, for anyone who's not in the know, this story from 1951, published in Detective Comics number 151, would later be the basis for, as you could probably tell, The Killing Joke, which was written around the same time. Obviously, The Killing Joke took a lot of liberties with this original story. It cut out a lot and added. But, yeah, this was essentially the groundwork for Alan Moore's retelling of a Golden Age story that eventually became a Dark Age story. And, that's one reason why comic books have endured for so long. Their influence can last years afterwards. And, yeah, I don't know if you can tell because I'm just skimming through this for the sake of time. But, after that, we're starting to see a lot more of the goofy, jovial storylines that came out during the Silver Age.